We're talking about the leadership journey, and in my experience over the years, my sense is that there are 5 broad areas of work that we need to be cognizant of as leaders. And the idea of this series is to simply talk to them in a way in which we can both understand it in our lived context and at least be aware that we're on the journey. I'm Rama, and I'd like to best describe myself as a social architect and a possibility thinker.
Welcome to an exciting journey on the topic of leadership. We're thrilled to have you on board as we explore leadership in various dimensions. Today, we have a distinguished guest with us, Dr. Rama, who will be delving into the profound topic of the 5 practices of exemplary leadership. Get ready to gain insights, strategies, and inspiration to enhance your leadership skills and make a positive impact in your professional and personal life. So, let's dive right in. Modeling the way. Practice number 2. Dr. Rama, inspiring a shared vision. Talk to us about that.
This is a big topic. We hear so much about vision and mission and objectives, and people do 3-day workshops and retreats about it. And I must admit, I've also been part of many of those processes. And I always found it to be slightly abstract. In fact, more abstract than real. And the idea is to come up with a nice sounding document that's a grand vision of your life. But over the years, my experience has been that visions are deeply personal. The vision for your life, based on how you live your life, what you want out of your life, how do you define your happiness, your joy. Those are things within our reach. I think the words get in the way of it. If you ask a simple question, like, I want to live a joyful life, and understand what it just means for you, that's a vision statement. I think the words get in the way of it. So the idea about visions, I think, is the way, first of all, that I need a personal vision for my life, whatever that might be. Whether it's how I live my life, what I want out of life, where I want to be in my life, that's all part of your vision, your dreams, your possibilities, your goals. And so it starts off there. If you don't know who you are and have a personal vision of yourself and where you want to be or how you like to turn up, don't speak to other people about visions. And the second thing is that to be willing to share that vision honestly with the people that you care about, the people that you work with. And honestly, I mean, with a sense of courage, that it might not be the way that people expect you to live your life, but that's how you see it. And the vulnerability in which you share it gives other people permission to do the same. And so when we share our ideas about what we want out of our lives in a deep and safe space, it sets the foundation for creating the common shared vision. For example, if this is how we live our lives in this organization, and we hear values like family, so how do we honor family in the way in which we work in this organization? Are we family? And if our vision was simply, in this organization, we are family, and we talk about what family means for us, that's a vision statement. I think we get lost in the grandiose ideas of it. And the idea of a shared vision is that it starts from the personal and brings together the areas of commonality, whether it's even 1 or 2 elements of it. And it is a starting point of a journey to create this common vision. I don't think visions are cast in stone. I think they're always moving, because we are moving and we are changing and the context is shifting and changing. So when you do it this way, it's alive in the room. And we question from a place of deep love and respect. And so the vision has life in this space. If people walk into your organization or into your family, you don't need to tell them what your vision is. They should feel it.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes we can get caught up in our dream and stay there. For some people, they dream, but never action any dream.
Great.
So for people like that, how would you sort of walk that journey with them from taking a dream into a reality or a shared vision?
I think that's a really good question, because I think we're all basically dreamers. I mean, you think about it, actually everything in this world started with a dream. Someone had an idea. Some brought it to life, others did not. and if you think about yourself, and those who listen to this podcast right now, is that how many ideas did you have in your head which never materialized? So it's a common thing. And dreaming itself is beautiful, but dreams alone are not enough. So the idea about a dream and a vision and an action step, for me, is the 6-degree shift that I keep on speaking about. If we can't find an action, an entry point to make that dream a reality, then it's just a dream. And you have many of those. But if you want to bring the dream into your real life experience, it has to be matched with an appropriate action step. What am I doing in my life right now consciously to make that dream a reality? And by dream, I don't mean I want to be rich. I mean something deeper than that. These are the obvious superficial things. I want to be rich because. And if you ask the question a couple of times, you come to the real core value that you want to talk about. And then think about, so what actions do I do? How do I behave in this space to make that a reality? Whatever that might be. And I don't want to judge that. And nobody can judge that except yourself in this space. But you know that you're working towards the grand goal of living a fuller, happier life. And today I just did this towards that end. And I think that's enough.
How can you help people value their dreams? I think a lot of people don't value their dreams. Therefore, they won't action it. What would you say to people like that?
I think dreams are the starting point of creativity. It's your inner voice talking to you, your subconscious state. So a dream doesn't come from nowhere. It is your voice. And I think for a lot of us, we've learned to disregard that voice. We don't pay it enough. It's just a dream. But dreams are an extension of your consciousness. So when you have a dream, when you have a thought, an idea, and you sleep, and say, wow, where did it come from? It came from a whole lot of lived experience in yourself, right? So you need to honor that and spend time saying, so what was that about? And just the fact that you say, I'm curious about that, opens up energy for you to explore a bit further. So a dream is a place with a possibility that's not yet here in this space, right? And if you spend some time on it, I absolutely guarantee you, you will decide at the end of that, this has something for me. It came from inside me, and I can do something about it. What is the one thing I can do?
That's amazing. Such beautifully shared. Thank you. Leaders are possibility thinkers. Talk to us about that.
Yeah. The big thing is that the world is orientated towards problems. It's a mechanical world. It's the paradigm that we inherited from the industrial age. There's a problem, fix it. So this notion of finding solutions quickly about crises, let's solve this problem immediately, works very well in a mechanical industrial setting. The machine is broken, fix it. Human beings are not like that. Life is not a problem to be fixed. It's a journey. And so we have to shift our mindset into the space of saying, instead of talking about problems and how to fix it in the short term, to ask another question. So what's the possibility here that I'm not seeing?
The what if question.
The what if question. And you're familiar with that. And when you get into that space, all you do is mobilize energy in a more productive way to think about a future that's not yet here, but I can start to work on it differently. The problems keeps you stuck. The possibility opens space to abundance.
In many ways, leaders live their lives backwards. They see pictures in their mind's eye of things will look like even before they started the work, a kind of blueprint or model of the desired future.
Yeah, I'll tell you a story. A long time ago, I went into Amlazi to start a new job, looking for a place. I didn't know where the place was, and I go into this place literally on a pile of rubble. And there's a short man standing on this pile of rubble. I said, excuse me, sir, I'm looking for Mr. Zondi for this Amlazi College for Further Education. Do you know where it is? He said, it's here. I said, what do you mean it's here? And he spent the next 5 minutes painting a picture of this place. And just on the image alone, I left a secure job, went into a space that was completely new to me, just on this man's idea of what that image was. He had the picture in his head, and all I knew was, wow, I want to contribute to that picture. And that's when I say backwards. He had the picture long before the college was even built in his head. So leaders do have, and we're all leaders, by the way, some grand vision of where we'd like to be at, some purpose that's bigger than ourselves. And it starts, if the purpose is clear, it's very easy to mobilize people around it. The way you articulate that vision to other people. This is what I want to bring into the world. Will you walk with me? Will you come on this journey? So it's an invitation to be a part of something bigger than myself. But if the leader doesn't have that picture clear in their head, leaders get confused, followers get confused. The idea is to not give them a certainty, but at least say, I've got you. I've got you. I've got the big picture in my head. And every time you get a chance to articulate it, you make it more visible to people through your behaviors, through your actions, and through your words. And that's what keeps your vision alive. Because whenever I speak to the leader, he's always talking about that one thing. It's clear. And it makes me feel a bit safer and more secure. Hey, he knows where we're going to, and I can go to him. Not that he's going to fix me up, but he'll remind me of why we're doing this work. And sometimes that's all it needs for people to be reminded of why we choose to be in this space, right?
Yeah, so we have a dream. Now we believe it. Now we would like to share it. How do we get people to get excited about it?
It's the way we invite them into the spaces to talk about things like this. A way, apart from the cliches, the smart words, the motivational speeches, it's a way to meet people where they're at that moment in time, and give them just a couple of first steps that they can do almost immediately to start the work. And my experience has been that that's all you need really. For the person to take the first step, and I always speak about the 6-degree shift. When you take the first step and you feel the drive towards the movement towards that, don't worry about the 10 steps. Just stay long enough in your first step and feel the movement and the shift. And wait for the second step to come. It will come. Sometimes it might be shorter, sometimes it might be longer. But you have to know certainty in your head. The second step will emerge. So you take this in bite-sized chunks. The problem with most of us is that we have the dream and we have a 10-point plan, over the next 2 years. And we all know what happens with that, right? Your interest keeps dwindling. By month 4, you're off to another idea. And nothing changes in your life. Think about all the crash diets, the exercises, the plans to read, all of them. What happened? It's because we tried to take on too much in your brain, say, actually, I can't do this. So work at your pace, because it's your own personal work and nobody can judge you for that. It's your work. Just as long as you're aware that you're on the journey. I think that awareness, we spoke about, is key. I'm on the journey at my own pace, and I don't need to share it with anyone. I know I'm on the journey. And this month, I'm doing just this one little step. And I want to sit and I want to feel it inside here. And then not be anxious about what else is going to come, but trust the process. And Theo, that's enough. I think we've been so inundated with complex things of how to fix everything in our lives that it's no longer useful to do your work on your own. Someone will fix it up for you, right? Go to a coach, go to a motivational speaker, go to a counseling course. And what it does, it takes away your responsibility and gives it to someone else. Please save me. Nobody can save you. You have to save yourself, right? And do it on your own terms in this space. And that means that it's comfortable. And that's enough.
Yeah, Rama, I really love your mantra on taking the first steps. How can you help our listeners, our viewers, when we talk about taking the first steps? What will that kind of look like for them?
So by first step, I really mean the simplest little thing. And I'll give you an example that I'm familiar with. In a school situation, you're principal of a school, or you're leader for an organization, and one of the things you want to do is just create a happy work environment for your staff. And so your first step is, every morning I'll come into work and greet every person by name without talking about it. That's the first step. Or today, I'll walk into my organization or my family and I will say one word of appreciation to someone. I will say a thank you, that I see you. And that's enough. So for the whole week, all you do is you're smiling and saying good morning. And until the point where people start to get curious, what the hell is this guy up to? And he's not giving us a lecture about I want to create a happy environment. I'm just turning up differently in this space, right? And the idea is, again, talking to the first point, Theo, to model the behavior. I'm smiling at you. I don't need a smile back. I'm not doing it to get a response. I'm doing it because it's my journey to appreciate this fact and how I want to turn up in this space. You receive it as you want to. I think when you let go of that notion of the transaction, I must do this, why aren't you happy?
Exactly.
You liberate yourself, right? Because I'm not responsible for your action. I'm only responsible for me.
And I guess a lot of people come to that point when they want to smile and want to greet and they don't get it back and they come to a point of offense.
Great.
And then they stop there and not do anything about it. I think that people should understand that or acknowledge it, that offense is not in the equation here. This is about you being a good person in that space.
Correct. And it talks again to your inner values, right? And I'm doing this for me, I'm on my journey. And here's the interesting thing. If I'm on my journey and I'm the best version of myself, I'm an exemplary leader.